that our unemployment rate hasn't risen as much as other parts of the province.
Paula, what did the Fed say?
Well, I think a lot of people don't really understand that the EI program has always been calibrated to local employment conditions. And this has long been a complaint in Alberta, that it does traditionally take longer for Albertans to qualify for EI, and they get fewer benefits because it's based, if you live in Newfoundland or New Brunswick or Quebec, your benefits are totally different than they are in other parts of the country. And it's designed to respond to local conditions. The situation we have here in Alberta is cities like Calgary and Fort McMurray, Red Deer have been much harder hit than Edmonton has. Edmonton's unemployment rate is about 6.8%, which is higher than it was, but our unemployment rate now is basically where Calgary's was in October. So we have to be reasonable, I think, and say that Edmonton's unemployment rate is not particularly high compared to the rest of the country. The problem is that there are pockets of unemployment here. And if you work in the public sector where there haven't been the big cuts that we saw under Klein the last time oil prices dropped, things are probably okay. If you're working in oil field servicing or oil field related manufacturing, you're much, much harder hit, and it's much harder to get a job. But it's pretty hard for a program like EI to cherry pick sectors like that. So
they have to sort of draw those bureaucratic lines somewhere.
Yeah, it's based on census tracts. So if I were somebody who worked in one of those sectors, and I would be just as unemployed as my buddy in Fort McMurray or my buddy in Calgary, I would want to know how come I'm not getting that kind of support. Now, Randy Boissonneau, who is in the Liberal caucus, spoke to our colleague Keith Gerine yesterday and said that if unemployment in Edmonton spikes, if we end up in the same position that Calgary, Red Deer, Fort McMurray are now, that they may consider adjusting that. I mean, the idea is that they would be flexible. But, what these new rules provide is up to 50 weeks of unemployment benefits. And happily, I think we do have to be fair about this. Edmonton is not experiencing the kind of giant spike in unemployment other places are. 50 weeks of unemployment benefits may not be necessary for most people in Edmonton, and we should be grateful for that.